Jake. My name is Bernstein. I will be interviewing you today for the position of the Sports Information Director at University of Wisconsin-Parkside. We are looking for someone that is both passionate and knowledgeable about sports and that has experience writing game stories and press releases and also doing stats. Because that's the main responsibilities for the Sports Information Director. And looking over your application, you definitely meet all of those qualities, and we're excited to learn more about you.
Alright, well, I'm graduating from the University of Parkside this fall with a degree in sports management. I ran cross-country and track all 4 years while attending University of Parkside, and I just feel like I have the right qualifications to meet this job.
Well, what made you apply for this job in the first place?
Well, what made me is I'm graduating, so I'm going to need to get a job, and I love sports, I love writing, and I love being around sports, and being a sports information director, that's going to have hone all 3 skills of those. Is I'm going to be around sports all the time. I'm going to be able to write creatively and I guess just write about athletes at the university and make them feel a little bit better about themselves, because I know, being a person, I always like checking the website to see what the SI had to say about me and the team and stuff. It was kind of exciting to see what he wrote.
Yeah, well, is there anything that excites you more about this university than any other university in the country?
Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously, I ran here, so there's something that made me come here. But what also is, we're not the biggest school around. We're Division II, and we're not even Division I, but we still are able to compete at the highest standards in the country, compete with all the Division I teams too. We've had a lot of ranked soccer teams, and we have a really good tradition of being a very strong sports university, and that's something to be said about a school that doesn't have the numbers that most schools have.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So even though the school only has like about 4,000 undergrads, you still think that, or you still liked this, running for this university, and you don't wish that you ran for a bigger university or a Division I university ever?
No. I mean, running Division I would be, for me, running is something that you don't have to be Division I to run at a Division I level. You can still run fast times being D2, and I was able to run good times running for this school, and the number of kids here didn't really affect my like in school, because I still had all my friends on the team. So I really like the university, and I like just the atmosphere about the teams on campus and how hard they worked and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So if you got hired as the sports information director here, what would you do, for example, if a student athlete came up to you or approached you and said that they definitely did not like the game story that you wrote about them?
I guess the first thing I would do is, say I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you look bad or hurt your feelings. I mean, that would be the last thing that I would ever want to do, is write or say something that would make our university look bad. And secondly, after that, I would ask him for his input on the game or the run or the race or whatever I had written about, and ask him for what he thinks, what his view on the game was, and then after that I would try to learn more about that team, because obviously I didn't know enough about the team and I said some things that weren't right, so I'd definitely try to get more involved with that team, spend some extra hours with that team than a different team.
Well, would you change the game story, or would you just keep it the same and apologize and say that next time you'll hopefully write a story using his input.
Oh no, I'll definitely change it. That'd be one of the first things I did after I got his input and I learned about the team, because I wouldn't want that on their team's website. Because if one person feels like it's a bad game story, there's going to be other kids. What about the parents' kids or the parents of that kid? So I would definitely change it and try to make it more to the benefit of the athlete and the athlete's team, so there wasn't any negative feelings towards it.
Well, that's good. It seems like you put a lot of time into your work. Besides writing game stories and press releases, do you have any other qualities that would stand out from any other applicant for this job?
Yeah, I don't know, I've kind of caught on, but I've always been around sports. I've always liked watching, reading, and participating in sports. I've personally been in cross-country track, wrestling, soccer, played some baseball and basketball in my earlier days, so I kind of have dabbled in every sport almost out there, and I always have had an interest in not only my sport that I participate in, but all the other sports and how they're doing and who's at the top in the country and all stuff like that. So I've always had a really good interest in all the sports going on around me.
Well, we know that cross country is a non-revenue sport and it's not as popular as a lot of the other sports out there, which we like that you participated in, because then you'll know how to, you know how it feels to not be recognized. And so I know that not be recognized as much as per se the basketball teams or baseball or football teams, so you definitely know what it feels like. So I feel like you'll probably be able to write good game stories about any sport, just because you sympathize for all the athletes because you know how much hard work they put in.
Yeah, of course. I mean, running cross country, it's kind of I don't know, you don't really expect anybody to say, hey, nice job racing that 8K last weekend, it doesn't happen. You don't expect to see students out there cheering for you, so it's always really nice to see your name plastered across the website when you have a good race, and just having that, it builds your confidence up. And then, because when I go on the site and I see the girls basketball team did well, when I see them around, I'll congratulate them. So when they see my name on there, they kind of do the same thing, so it kind of gives me a confidence boost. So I know what it's like to not always feel recognized and be in a sport that I know I'm working just as hard as everybody else, but not have as much recognition throughout the university. So I would definitely be able to write game stories and press releases for some of the smaller non-revenue sports in the university.
Yeah, definitely. That was a really great answer. And well, do you have anything else that you'd want to tell me or about yourself, or questions you have about this position?
No, I just would like to say that I'm really excited about this job. It's kind of one of my dream jobs, to get out there and use my writing talents and use my love for the game of sports to, be involved with it. I just love the atmosphere of college sports and hard work and all that stuff, and I love watching kids develop and see their name and see them get excited and see them do well. I guess I'm just really excited about getting the chance to have this job.
Well, I'm definitely excited to share the answers to your interview questions with all of my colleagues, because I definitely think that you're qualified for this job, and I loved meeting you, and we'll definitely contact you within about a week or so right after a review and talk about your interview with all of my colleagues. So it was great meeting you again.
Yeah,
and thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, no, thank you.